Welcome to the Seriously Speaking podcast, a safe healing space where people share their personal journeys and experiences, telling us how they overcame their traumas and learned to heal. Please welcome your host, LaShawn, who will be your friends on your personal journey to healing.
Welcome to Seriously Speaking Podcast, where we take a journey together. I would like to thank you all for tuning in to another episode. This is actually my second episode. So let's get right into what Seriously Speaking is about. Now, this podcast is about the emotional traumas that people experience from their childhood, that wounded inner child. So what I want to do is I want to bridge together both the healed, those who have walked the journey, with those who are on the journey. When you're going through that healing process, there's going to come a time where you're going to feel like nobody else is experiencing this much pain like you. No one else is going through that. And sometimes you don't know where to go to get that inspiration to keep going. So what I want to do here is bring together again both those who have walked this journey and those who's on the journey, so that those who have healed can share their experience. Give that motivation to those who's currently on the path. And so the process is I give you my email, Syrian_speaks@yahoo.com, and you emailed me and I communicate back with you. I'm in a U.S. Central Time Zone, and we set up a date and time to interview. It's not going to be very long. It's just you sharing your journey so that those who are currently going through the healing process can have inspiration, and perhaps maybe you can share something that can help them along the way. When I started my journey, I became a little creative, helping myself to heal. For me, and this is going to sound very interesting, and I want some people to try this. For me, I would meditate/pray for others because I respect everybody's representation of spirituality. What I did was meditate that in my dreams, I will start to heal and release a lot of that pain, a lot of that anger. And when I tell you that helps, that helps. And perhaps maybe that can help others, something different. And this is the type of information that I'm hoping others, the listeners, can share. Even maybe you have something that's even more creative that can help others. And that is what Seriously Speaking is about. You know, I was scrolling through YouTube and I came across the Tamron Hall show on YouTube the other day. Now, Tamron Hall was a host on, I believe, Dateline and MSNBC, and she would host these TV series documentaries. Tamron had a guest named Portia Moore. And back in 2021, last year, Portia Moore went viral on TikTok after uploading a video of her husband's abrupt departure from their apartment, where he left her with nothing. After an 18-year marriage, the only thing that was left in her closet was the wedding dress. And she talked about what she went through after that. And she herself got some therapy. And one of the things that she talked about concerning her therapy is that she learned to love herself. And that's what I'm hearing with a lot of people when they're on a journey, is learning to love yourself. Because when you learn to love yourself and value yourself, you start to set boundaries. You become this new person, that butterfly. You've transitioned to something else, that better version of yourself. And so it took me back again when she talked about that from the Tamron Hall show, Portia Moore. It took me back to my journey. And for me, mine, like a lot of us out here, your journey to healing is self-help, right? So what I would do every morning, almost every morning, I would get up and I will walk around the lake. And it's something about water that helps you really go within, and nature itself. So I walk around this lake, and it helped me to get my exercise also. And I would think and think, go back in my mind's eye, so to speak, and recall a lot of my pain. And so after I finished my walk, I would then go to the library and then I would read. And interesting enough, for some reason, I was very keen on reading about the subconscious or the unconscious mind, right? And one of the people that I book I read that I kind of gravitated towards was Dr. Joseph Murphy. And that book was The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And I think one of the reasons why I chose, I was so keen on the subconscious is because I read about what the subconscious or the unconscious mind is. The unconscious mind is a reservoir of feelings, thoughts, urges, and memories that are outside of our conscious awareness. The unconscious contains contents that are unacceptable or unpleasant, such as feelings of pain, anxiety, or conflict. So, in other words, this is where we house our conflict, pain, our anxiety, everything that we experience that was unpleasant to us. And we still do it. Even as adults, you do it. So it stands to reason that that is where you need to be concentrating your healing, is to basically gut out and release what's left still on that subconscious, some say unconscious mind. And that's what that book helped me. Now, it may be another one of his books that may help you, but that one, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, really helped me and gave me a lot of positive affirmation along my journey. So whenever I did go into meditation or prayer, I will speak to the subconscious. I would speak to the subconscious mind or the unconscious mind. And I noticed that was a huge key for me healing faster on my path. And when I thought about Dr. Joseph Murphy, it made me also think about, and I don't know if any of you all remember hearing about Cynthia Stratford. This young lady, back in I think 2007, won a $112 million lottery out of California. And I remember listening to an interview of hers, and she herself read, according to her, she read Dr. Joseph Murphy's book, Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And she said she also took some classes on affirmations and motivational speaker classes to help rewire how her mind worked. Basically, her subconscious. And she would visualize herself winning $112 million. And that was in '04 when she started that journey. 3 years later, she won a lottery in California, $112 million. She said she wrote it down and she told just a couple of people about what she was aspiring for with that lottery, and herself, of course. And so I urge those who have that wounded child or the unhealed self, and you're on your journey, start looking into studying the subconscious mind if you haven't already. I can assure you, you can't go wrong with going on that path also. I truly urge you to do it. The world today, when you look at wars and rumors of wars, and you look at violence, the harming of the earth, the harming of each other, children, when you look at that, we are not balanced people. We are very much unbalanced. But imagine if just 60% the world population started to deal with that imbalance within and deal with that subconscious. Can you imagine the world would change overnight? That's how powerful it is. One of my inspirations is also Anthony Robbins. I also urge you to read Unlimited Power. That was also another awesome book. It really helped me. I read it a couple of times. First time I read it was in my 20s. And sometimes I get the urge to reread a certain book. Well, I hope these words help you along your path. And I truly hope those who are listening will give me a chance and email me and do an interview so that we listeners and because I'm growing. You never stop growing. You never stop. That way we can share your journey. You can share your journey with other listeners who can help them. This is another reason why I shared my experience and some of the things that I did to help me along and hoping that it can help you. Again, my email is Syrian_speaks@yahoo.com. That's SIRIAN_SPEKS Why don't you share your journey of healing so others can find their way through this darkness? That's it for today. Why don't you all have a wonderful day and a prosperous. You all take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Seriously Speaking podcast. Make sure to tune in next week. If you would like to listen to the podcast on YouTube, go to Seriously Speaking Podcast. And to get in touch with LaShawn, please contact her at email address Syrian_speaks@yahoo.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the like button.